Ladies and gentlemen out there, this is Artie Lang. This is disgusting. Everybody's too nice now. We're all so nice, aren't we? But the thing is, we're not nice. Secretly, we're mean. That's essentially the show. It is funny. I cannot be a bigger just blob of nothingness and negativity. Party time! You want to get a little limbo dance going? Come on, I'll do it. The third person at the table was the bottom of my stomach. With hair and paleness and stretch marks. American nightmare. Weight like a spider. And this talks about every controversial subject you can imagine.
Shock jock Artie Lang on Media Day. Can't be with that sweet stuff. Nah.
Smack the sugar right out of you. Welcome to The Breakfast Show. The Artie Quitter podcast is on live from Blizzard Town, USA. What a bunch of fucking horse shit. Yeah, I mean, really just a bunch of bullshit. CNN and Fox should be arrested for inciting riots here. There were fights at the King's Food Store last night. Danny, my manservant, went over there to try and get food. Dan Falato, lover of tan Falato.
I said Artie is a regional treasure. He has to eat.
A regional treasure? How dare I got to get some non-gluten hot dogs. And I've got to get them quickly. I'm dealing with a type A diabetic. I've got a 300-pound type A diabetic upstairs trying to prepare for a podcast. Now, how am I going to do this with gluten-filled hot dogs? I need some brats. I need some gluten-free brats. Dan, of course, from Chicago. Okay, we got a packed house here. Of course, Joe Matarese, not here again. Joe wanted to Skype in. I said, Joe, it makes a lot of sense for us to go through the bullshit of Skyping you in when we're doing a show that's not on television or has no video component. Maybe Joe will call in later for the second segment. But Chris Cotton, of course, the old reliable Chris Cotton. We call him Tommy Hendrick.
At Cotton 215.
Oh, right, dude. Jesus Christ. I mean, every time he's got to he gives his last name and his cholesterol level every single time. Actually, 215 those days. That's your 8th grade cholesterol.
Jesus, not anymore.
Chris Cotton's here. We're happy to have him here. But another friend of mine, a great comic, Paul Morrissey.
Hey, thanks for having me.
What's up, man? Now, Paul just did his first Letterman a couple of months ago, right?
Yes.
And you were bumped a couple of times on Letterman.
Just once, and that was when you saved my life, man.
How did that? Explain how I did that.
You talked me off the ledge.
What happened exactly? Because I, of course, already forget.
Well, Regis Philbin fucking talked too much. Can I say the fuck word?
Wait, so, yes, curse as much as you want. Yeah. So Regis was on a little long. You're saying Regis went on Letterman, and he was the first guest, and we got this kid Morrissey that we're going to bump.
Yeah, so it was... So he kept talking. And by
the way, Dan is taking pictures like it's a fucking Victoria's Secret shoot. How many pictures do we need here?
Maybe if I stop laying on a table with sushi on my
By the way, yeah, no more sushi, guys. By the way, I got Morrissey to even out the color chart.
Yeah.
Paul is the whitest upstate New York person I've ever
Close
known.
enough, yeah.
And Chris Cotton is as black as a human gets. Mm-hmm. Dan's in between, and I'm yellow.
Yeah.
So, of course, this works out. So Paul is here for...
Korean.
I'm jaundiced. Paul is here for a couple reasons, the most of which is that he's funny. So go ahead. Regis Philbin, your first time on Letterman, is the first guest. And comics go through this. I've been bummed.
Yeah.
Well, what happened?
And also... I'm living in LA, so they're flying me in from LA. You're running through the set for the producers. You're here for 3 or 4 days beforehand.
It's so nerve-wracking. When you do stand-up on TV, they want to see the set. They want to go through it with a fine-tooth comb. What's offensive, what's not offensive, what'll offend Dave, what'll offend Conan. These segment producers that have to put you together and vouch for you really work out of fear. They're so pressure-packed. They're afraid they're going to get fired if you say something, fuck offending the audience at home or in the studio, that offends Dave or Paul Schaefer or the drummer, Anton. Right. So you go through that hell.
Yeah. And it goes great. Like the run-through went great with the producers, which is the first time they're basically seeing me live because I'm living in Los Angeles.
Did you do the run-through at a club in New York?
Yeah, I did a stand-up New York.
Okay. That's what they do. They come out to a club and watch you do a spot.
Right.
So you do 5 or 7 minutes?
It's basically 5. I mean, 4.5 on paper, I guess, is what it's supposed to be.
And the run-through went great?
Run-through went great, fortunately. And
Did you get any notes before?
One note after. Yeah. One note after.
Which was what?
Stop saying the N-word. It's a big note.
Well, because that's stepping on Dave's monologue.
The joke was about how there's so many different kinds of bread at Subway. And the new ones look like something they rolled around in the street after a car accident because it's all these chunks of.
Right. They didn't like the car.
They didn't want the car accident. Of course.
My God, what? Oh my! Can I just say the word pussy? What is the world? That's just a funny, good joke. It's
hilarious.
They didn't want car accident.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Go ahead.
But it's like, and I, I've done Ferguson a bunch of times too. So I'm basically like, hey, I know these people have a job and they've got to kind of.
Wait, what do you mean
validate.
Ferguson? You've done Greg. I thought you meant
Craig
the town.
Ferguson.
The town
no.
Ferguson. Yeah, you did this comedy club.
I opened up there. I got booed.
You did it. N-words. The new comedy club. Go ahead.
So I'm very conscious of like, okay, I'm because you know how people get upset. It's like, that's my fucking bit. That's how I've done it for 12 years. I'm not fucking changing it.
Right. You can't do that. You have to be diplomatic. Those people are like, okay, you have integrity, but you're not going to be on television.
Right. So that went great, and I always worry about that stuff too, because one of my friends told me the story. He got flown out to do Conan when Conan was still in New York, and was doing like a set like that because you're doing it on like a Monday night at like a quarter filled room,
right?
And so he thinks like Conan even announced that he's going to be on the show the next night, and he just does this run through while he's in New York and just starts fucking around because there's nobody in the club, and just does a little bit of crowd work because he's not going to get anything out of this. And the next morning, his manager calls him. He's like, "Hey, you're not going to be on the show tonight." He's like, "Did I get bumped?" They're like, "No, they just don't have a date for you now."
You're kidding.
So that
is crazy.
So that was always in my head to not.
Of all the people that do that, and Conan's been very nice to me. I'm booked on Conan February 24th, Tuesday night. Check it out.
Oh yeah, that wasn't an indictment of Conan. That was just like what.
I'm just saying, what is that? No, I mean, it could. It might be an indictment of Conan. He doesn't handle those things properly. But Conan's a maverick. He's edgy. He's known as being a great writer. You do that to a comic. That's bad. That's bad to me. But anyway, go ahead.
And so the run through girl's great. My family comes in. Girlfriend at the time flies in from LA just for a day.
That's the best closer in the world. You fucked the girlfriend. You fucked her already. You want a new chick.
And then I go. It's Regis just talking, and you're going through all that stuff of you're upstairs making sure
pacing.
Yeah, and you go through there was I forget what the group was called. It was like. So it was a girl guitar group of two beautiful Swedish models. Oh. So when I go,
they sound shitty.
Or two delicious bitches.
They're actually really good. They got a good song, but
you could kiss their ass now.
But they were just beautiful, and they look like just like disco queens, and they have all these elaborate costumes. It's a gay guy's wet dream.
So Regis was loving it. Who are these two Swedish brothers?
But when
I'd like to get in a sandwich with them.
But basically, when I walk in there, you're just hoping the makeup people can make you look semi-presentable.
I always have that problem. I go, make me look human. But first of all, the other thing is you hear, because some of those audiences are so Midwestern, you're hearing Regis kill with an anecdote about a barbecue that his wife Joy threw for Kelly Ripa and the gang in the Hamptons.
Yeah, it's so like the hairstylist guy spent like 4 seconds on me and basically just put gel in my hair and smushed it forward. So I looked like a serial killer. And you're also wearing a suit. That's what you got to do for Letterman. I've never worn a suit to perform before, so I'm wearing a suit.
I've never had to wear a suit for Letterman because I think they just say, let's not. Why put a silk hat on a pig? But go ahead.
And then, so then you have all these other things you're worried about. So by the time I'm on getting ready to do the set, I'm stage right and I'm ready to go, and I'm not even thinking about
So you're downstairs.
Yeah, I'm on the side of the stage.
In that little area you wait before you walk. That's nerve-wracking too.
And then
I could barely fit in that area.
And Regis is just talking, and then I don't. They throw to another break, and then Dave. I remembered now him saying, "Are we coming back, or do we have enough time?" And then,
that was
basically
pressure,
Well, that was basically the decision was made by someone like, we'll keep going or we'll bump this guy,
right?
And so that's when I'm on the side and I see the two bookers looking like someone just got murdered.
Dude, you're all down there already, too.
And they look.
You see show business. Show business is a foot away. Have you been on network television before?
Yeah, like
Ferguson.
Yeah.
So basically,
but this was like the big.
You had not been on TV.
This was.
they treated him like the Wild thing in Major League. He was throwing wild.
Yeah, probably did they color your hair too?
They just made it thicker. They have that stuff.
You need that. I use that all the time. So go ahead.
And so
I get the Asian hair, the chopped up Asian hair.
What was it called?
They put on your head like pepper.
Yeah,
like a thing of pepper. But it's Asian people have the right texture for it,
really?
And they sell their hair, and they put it on me like you'd think they were seasoning a Caesar salad.
I have no idea what they're talking about.
Bald spot. They pepper your head.
Well, black guys, they just use the spray paint stuff, right?
Yeah,
or whatever LeBron has.
I used to have that. I used to have that too, the spray paint.
LeBron has that. They just spray his hairline.
It does. It looks like too much of an afro for a white guy.
Keith Robinson knows all about anything to make his hair look good. We got to bring him in for hair.
You got to do what you got to do. So you see the conversation happening 10 feet from you.
And I'm here, and I'm just waiting for the stage manager to tell me to go on. And the two bookers come from that side door, and they're like this, but they look like terrified.
And it sucks for them because first of all, they did a lot of work too.
Right.
And it's going to go for naught.
So it was the whole, we feel really bad, and this has only happened twice since we've been booking, but, we're going to get... The only thing that really scared me was...
It's only happened twice.
Well, with them, I guess, since they've taken over.
No, I'm saying it still makes you feel even shittier.
Right.
That's your luck.
And so the only thing that kind of freaked me out was... I got bumped, and obviously, and my parents and my girlfriend are up in the audience. So you're hoping that they're not worried that I just ran out into the street and got freaked out or something.
They're like, "Where's our son? Where's Pal? This isn't like Pal.
Paulie Boy's not coming out. Why
this isn't like Pal, and it's not show up."
And your mom and my mom sound exactly alike. I'll compare text messages of, "Worry about the weather? Are you checking the weather? Are you checking the weather?"
My mother last night after watching CNN and Fox, if she had a heart attack, I would have sued somebody. They're saying it's the worst storm ever. And CNN, stay inside. Get your food now.
Snowmageddon.
3 inches. We had a couple of snow. We had a flurry. So they tell you you're not on.
So they tell you you're not on, but then my whole thing is, all right, so when am I going to be on? They're like, well, we don't have that yet. So then...
They don't have the new date.
So that kind of freaked me out that I didn't really know for a week. That was a long week. I'll tell you that. So that was when I saw you.
Did you go back to L.A.?
Well, no, I stayed there that night, and of course, we all go out to dinner.
Right.
And then everyone's kind of they don't know how to act. They're like, well, it's a good thing. Because one thing that Dave did do is he said, we apologize to Paul Morris. He's a great young comic, and we're going to have him back as soon as we can. And someone talked too long. He basically kind of indicted
giving Regis shit. I don't know what the hell you're up my ass. I mean, the kid seems like a bit of a hack. So it was nice. So your parents and girlfriend heard Dave say that.
Yeah.
Right.
So they knew from then, and then you have a couple other friends there, and then so your parents leave, girlfriend leaves, and then you're just kind of on your own. And I did something at Sirius that day.
Right.
And then that's when I ended up hearing from Frank and that you guys
Frank
were going out to dinner.
Sebastiano, my good friend, who wrote Beer League with me, wrote Dirty Work. That's how I met him, and directed Beer League, and has written for me and with me in a bunch of things, including a pilot. I did one, so I've worked with Frank on a bunch of stuff, and we made money for each other, and we've not made money for each other. But Beer League we did together, that and Dirty Work were cult hits. We're very proud of those two things. But so we all went out to dinner that night?
Yeah, we all met up at it was
Steak
Frank
joint?
and his brother and
At
cousins and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
And you just came in late.
Yeah.
And you just came in just for the steak part.
That's right. That's how you do stuff. I don't want to hear the part about Paul getting bumped. I just want the filet mignons.
Give me the steak.
And
so how did I help you, though?
Well, you sat down and you're like, oh, the same thing happened to me.
That never did, but yeah.
Oh, did you? Oh, was really?
No, I'm kidding. I did. I got bumped once, absolutely.
Okay,
yeah,
but as a guest, though, right?
As a guest, yeah.
And you were already famous?
Well, famous is a strong word. I was the third guest on a Conan once where I got bumped because Carson Daly talked too long.
That makes sense.
At least you had a living legend. Carson on his way to be a legend, of course.
Regis already a legend. So you felt better after the talk.
Yeah, and everyone said it's just going to make it better because Dave has already talked about it. Everyone knows you're going to be on the show, so you can kind of plan for that. But like I said, the only thing I'm worried about is like, all right, well, give me the date if we're going to do the date.
Yeah, now you're like, so as a typical comic, you're neurotic in your head. Are you going, do they go over my set last minute and say, no, it's not going to happen?
Booker gets fired. You don't know what the fuck happens.
I mean, as a comic, you think about that all the time.
Yeah, and for 2 weeks into that month before I did it, Dave makes the announcement that he's retiring. So there was one morning where I literally thought...
You just throw up in your mouth.
You made him retire. Dave Letterman announced his reason for retiring is Paul Morrissey.
I'm going to retire in 2 weeks, but Paul Morrissey, you're not coming in. It's part of his announcement.
Well, so now you eventually did it. How long did it take for you to do it?
Yeah, it was a month. It was like a month. And
so you go back to L.A. and you're waiting. How long before you found out the new date?
It was a week. So that was like a week of what the fuck. Come on.
Now, did they make you run the set again when you got to New York? So you didn't go Maverick and do anything rebellious?
I set up a bunch of sets just on my own just because I wanted to keep running through it and keep it tight. But at that point, it's kind of like rehearsing lines. Like, I know this so well that I don't want it to seem cardboard or whatever. So.
I hear you. Know, that's a big problem, too. It's going to seem over-rehearsed. So that's the last thing you want to stand up.
Yeah. Especially this is the set that kind of culminates your career from that point. You're
going to be looking at this for the rest of your life.
Yeah. And I will say that it probably worked out. Like, the crowd was unreal. Like, I got so many applause
and
breaks.
You did great.
It was just a great set, and I got, a lot of stuff out of it. So it was awesome. But getting through that week of like, being in New York and getting bumped and not having anything that was good too.
Where it is another badge of honor. It's something that, everyone who's kind of made it probably goes through something like that at one point. And you got through that week. You have that story now. I got bumped from Letterman because of a TV legend, Regis Philbin. Right. I mean, two legends, two TV Hall of Famers. We're talking long, and a hot Swedish blonde band.
Right.
Got to do their fucking song.
Yeah. And
Hindi, Shindy, Hindi.
And then but we were talking about girls, like you go through a breakup, all you need is like a really hot chick to distract you or something like that. So it's like you need a good thing with work to happen. So that's basically what happened with me. But I mean, we went over to your show that night too, right?
That's
after
right. Again, of course, that filled the void of Letterman doing the Artie Lang show. Direct TV.
Well, you ran through your special.
That's right.
Caroline.
That's right. Okay. That same night, that's right. I met you guys because I was running through the stand-up special. Okay.
Oh shit! So I was there too. I was featuring.
You were on before me that night when I went to the set?
When you did Caroline's, I was there then too.
Well, are you sure it was that Caroline's?
I don't know.
I don't think so, because this was like a second show on a Tuesday.
This was a real spontaneous.
Oh, this is one of those last.
The Comedy Central people had seen me do it at Gotham once, and again, I went through the same exact thing. No matter how long you're in this business, they said, listen, they want to see the set again. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, any notes or just like, I had done a thing about, I can't remember his fucking name now, the racist guy who owned the LA Clippers. Yeah, I did a bit about Sterling, and they said, listen, that's already old news. Mm-hmm. So can you replace that with something? We need the time. Just basically do another set where that is something else. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I said, sure, I got 2 hours of shit that I could probably replace it. And they said, just keep it tight and everything. And I did exactly what they asked me to do, and on that set, and they... I might have even done the Sterling bit, but
I think you did everything.
I did enough to where they knew I could do something else,
right?
Mm-hmm. And they were very appreciative that I was willing to even do that. And they was like, "Fine, you got it. Just go. We'll tape it twice." And we got the special. So, again, it's nerve-wracking, man. Comics never get the fucking respect that they deserve. Mm-hmm. They still make you dance like a fucking monkey. You're the chimp. You're the fucking clown dancing around with the big shoes.
Right. Yeah. And the only thing that made me feel another weird thing that happened right after that, I was at the Comedy Store one night, and Mike Judge and Drew Carey are there.
Mike Judge. Love Drew. Good guy.
And I'd never met Mike before. I did this Johnny Carson festival with Drew Carey.
Mike Judge, by the way, the guy who created King of Hill and Beavis and Butthead and wrote and directed Office Space. Amazing.
Silicon Valley.
Amazing.
He's great.
Amazing guy. Yeah, new show, Silicon Valley, which I think got nominated for a couple of Golden Globes.
And so I don't really know him. And then Drew said, oh, you did Letterman, right? And then Mike started talking to me. So then they're asking me about stuff, and then I said, well, I got bumped once by Regis Philbin. And then Drew Carey goes, fucking Regis Philbin. And he ended up having this great story about, like, you know how Johnny Carson like made his career, and he wanted to thank him once, and I guess you had to like wait behind this velvet rope by Johnny Carson's like dressing room to talk to him or whatever.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
And the last guest on the show is Regis, and I guess you only have from that velvet rope to just say whatever you want to say to Johnny.
Yeah, a certain amount of time.
And he can hear Regis like bugging him about, hey, just let me guest host a couple times, or just bugging him about doing it. And you can tell he's just pissed off, and then Johnny's like, get him the fuck away from me. Takes his jacket off and then just blows right by Drew.
No kidding.
So Drew
Regis
blames
pissed
him.
him off.
Yeah. So Drew blames him. He's like, I never got to thank him because, he never saw him again.
Listen, how about let me guest host? I think it's a clear thing. Come on. Think about Carson. Carson was a badass because Carson, a lot of these guys are afraid to let people guest host for them. That they fear kind of too hot in the business or might be funnier than them. They might lose their job. Carson's like, I don't care who's hot. I don't care who you think is funny. I don't care if it's a broad, a guy. I don't care if they got all the news in the world. The Rolling Stone picked him the best comic in the history of man. Let him fucking host. Yeah. I'm going to take my time. I'm going on my ship outside of Malibu for a couple of weeks. I'm getting away from Doc and McMahon and the boys. I'm banging fucking pussy. And you guys just pick whoever you want because they're not better than me and they're not getting the ratings, and I'm coming back whenever I want. That's how Johnny Carson was.
Yeah, and if 80, even half of that book that his lawyer wrote is true, then I have even more respect for.
Oh God, that is a rock. We had that lawyer on as a guest on my direct.
So what do you think? Is he?
I think there would have been a lot of lawsuits if it wasn't true. Yeah, you can always judge by the lawsuits, not by Carson, by his wives and stuff like that, because they're still alive. And people can bitch all they want if they don't sue. It's not about needing the money. That's the sign that, you know what? I'm confident that this is bullshit. It'll be exposed as bullshit. Mm-hmm. So I think most of that book was probably true, and it was very. He had clearly a drinking problem. Mm-hmm. And at that time, he hit on a mob guy's wife and got thrown down the stairs. And his 10 years in New York were the drinking years. Those were tumultuous.
Well, the Frank Gifford thing is like insane,
Gifford
right?
thing's amazing. Yeah, about his wife. And, he was a womanizer who got it back. The broads fucked with him, too.
Yeah. And lost his shirt in every divorce, basically.
He did. He's the reason for prenups, I think.
Yeah.
He didn't have that benefit, but... Mike, I'll give you my favorite Beavis and Butthead moment. I think I've said this before, but here's my favorite. I'm watching Beavis and Butthead back when it first came on, and I was addicted to that show. Yeah. And it's that video for Journey where Steve Perry's looking right in the very 80s. They're lip syncing in a real bad way, parachute pants, and Steve Perry's got the band behind him, and he's screaming at the camera, someday love will find you, break those chains that bind you, someday. And he's looking at the camera, it's a big close-up of his face, and in the corner it says Beavis and Butthead, so it's not the video. It's and there's I think it's 30 seconds of him singing that song, and then the volume goes down on the song, and all you hear is Butthead go, this guy should go to the doctor and say, I suck. Do you have any medicine for sucking? That combined with Steve Perry on someday love will. Just amazing shit.
I love Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, anything he does. Did you see Idiocracy?
Oh, yeah.
You know what? That's one. I love Office Space, and my buddy from Mad TV, David Herman, plays Michael Bolton in that, and he's so funny. That movie bombed at the box office, become a huge cult classic now because it deserves it. So
beyond him.
Right.
Idiocracy is another one that has to grow on you. But
I loved it from the rip.
It's got so many great jokes in it.
They couldn't figure out how to make the plants grow until he was like, use water.
Right.
What? The stuff that we pee? What is the stuff that we pee in?
The concept of a guy
pee water. That's like
TV. The direct opposite's true. That in the future we're going to get dumber because of television, and you're a genius if you're kind of average here at this point. That's what a great concept that is.
And the best was how he said everybody would just keep reproducing because all the idiots can just have babies. Like that's idiots have babies.
People want credit for having kids in this life. A retard has kids.
And the movie is just like a picture or like a video of a guy's ass That's like the hit movie, and it's like when you watch Jackass, as funny as it is, like it's really not that far away.
Well, I mean, again, Jackass, I've never laughed harder in my life at a movie than
so
Jackass.
great.
But
Jackass 1 was a classic. I remember going to the movies and seeing that the scene where the dude fell through the ceiling, and the black guy he didn't even hit the floor, and the black guy was already out the room. And when they showed it, they just couldn't stop laughing.
well,
because how
the
fast
most simple shit in Jackass, I think it's Jackass 1, where Steve-O just jumps into a moving fan, a ceiling fan,
that was
on high speed, and stops like, and he just stops it dead and falls to the ground.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
It's fucking amazing.
The car in the guy's ass is always
the car.
the doctor, the caring doctor was just like, you tell no one about this. The fact that I know, that's one person too many.
You tell no one about it. It's good. A doctor with a sense of humor. That's one person too many. All right, so that's Paul Marcy, of course, rightfully so, eventually got on Letterman and killed. So, Paul, you're a friend of the show. Thank you.
Thanks.
Where do you live now?
I'm in Studio City.
Are you still in L.A.?
Yeah.
What are you doing in town? You just hanging?
I was supposed to do
we didn't
Gotham.
fly you in.
Yeah. You put up. I got a bill that I got to hand.
You're doing Gotham.
Supposed to. That got canceled tonight for
Jeez.
this blizzard.
Well,
They probably going to reopen. They might
tonight it got canceled
Yeah.
after this.
They canceled everything.
They were scared. They were scared shitless, dude. They ruined a lot.
Louis
of stuff.
C.K. was supposed to do Madison Square Garden. They canceled it.
Is that true?
Yes,
Wow.
canceled.
He was on
Well-
Letterman last night, and they had to say,
When are you? How long you at Gotham? Just tonight?
well, it's tonight, and then I'm doing the DC Improv this weekend.
so you drive. So they're not gonna. So you're done with New York City.
Right.
You drive. You
So this is the way out. I escaped as soon as I could get out of here.
You're
to
taking the
Hoboken.
Acela train.
You get bumped so much in New York.
No, I got a car. So
You got a car. You drive the 3 hours.
Yeah, it's not
3
too bad.
hours on the button to DC or
bad at all.
Baltimore. It's not bad.
Yeah.
So Paul, good to have you here.
Well, thanks for having me.
Chris. So what's going on Twitter with you? This sounds retarded to me.
I am retarded. I'm a
He says
retard.
Chris Cotton's a married man, and he's on
I'm
Twitter.
very mad. I love
flirting
my wife.
with women, and he goes,
It is
"I
fun.
don't think I can keep doing this on Twitter." Well, of course you can.
Oh, it's not that I can't keep doing it. I'm just not. I realize I'm like.
Well, you said to me your goal is not to get laid because you would never cheat.
Yeah, I
Cheat
don't
on
want to
your
cheat.
lovely
I'm
wife.
not.
So
I'm not
what
a
are you
cheater.
doing?
It's just.
But does your wife know that you talk to other girls?
Yeah. My wife knows. Like it's funny because I'm extremely honest. That's my.
And you say it's
a
all right.
good and
For
bad
you
thing
say
about
it's
me.
all right for your wife to flirt, dude.
Whoa, hold on.
No, it's
I didn't
not.
say it's all right, but I'm saying it is
Only
one of
leads
those
to
things
bad shit, man.
where
Dude.
I can't disagree with any of these facts. You're saying all correct.
I've had a
things.
wedding in New Jersey before. I have experience in things not working out. And,
But I'm being honest about it. I'm like, I go in there, I play for the friend. The shit's funny. Mostly it's, to me, it's just jokes and fucking. I don't take shit too serious. But it's just weird because like the chicks start saying shit, and I like in my mind I want to say shut the like I don't get why you're talking like because I'm used to being married. I don't know how to talk
what
to
do you
women.
think?
It sounds stupid when they say it
when they
live
use
on
their
Twitter.
words. It's just so hard.
What do you think about this, Artie? Because basically, Facebook has ruined my last 2 relationships.
I've
just
never
because,
directly been on Facebook. in
well,
my
people
life.
post stuff on your page which
They
you
do.
don't have any control
They
over.
do, yeah.
And if it's a girl or whoever, and they say babe or some kind of remotely sexy thing,
Yeah, women
people
go
get
ahead.
jealous.
Right.
Well, my
But-
wife also isn't on social media at all.
But also, I think it's weird when a girl doesn't care at all.
Right. No, I know. You want them to be a little
bit.
That's why my wife
sure.
isn't on social media because she realized that shit like that's going to happen. She just doesn't. Plus, she just doesn't care. It's just
Well, that's the problem,
chicks
is
talking.
what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Don't you think? Or not?
I agree completely. You want the chick to not be
A little
all up
bit.
in your grill about it, but you don't want them to go, "Oh, that's funny. Are we eating dinner tonight?" Or
No, I mean it's one of those things where, of course, I give her the overview. I don't give her the details. That's our rules. Give me the overview so I know what's going on, but don't give me fucking this chick says she wants to blow me. And it's like, you don't need to tell me that. But you can be like, this one chick keeps hitting on me. That's how we talk. It's very.
But don't
I don't
you
know,
travel?
dude. Yeah, I know you travel.
yeah, that's what. But that's how the trust stays there. The fact that I'm so honest about everything.
Sounds like Chuck Berry's arrangement.
Shut up, bitch.
Chuck Berry had a listen. I'm going to travel and piss in a girl's mouth, and you can stay here and clean the fucking house.
And you don't even tell anyone you're my wife.
Yeah, and you're not allowed to even look at people. Like Chuck Berry's wife, you've never seen. I've never seen the woman.
Right. Like people didn't know he was married.
Exactly. You've never seen Chuck Berry's wife. And he likes it that way, I guess. Because,
Well, is that 2 separate lives, which sometimes that's the way it is. Like you're I never understood how somebody could just be on tour like in a rock like the Coldplay guy, like he's just away from Gwyneth Paltrow for 2 months.
Well, I told you.
Well, no, that makes sense.
Well, wait, who negotiates that? Like, that's a trade-off, 2 separate lives, where Chuck Berry says, listen, you're a housewife in Missouri, and I'm on the road as the king of rock and roll. Like that. We had the funniest thing a guy ever said on the Stern Show. Roger Daltrey got married in 1972 or something like that, and he had still been married. So we're interviewing him in like 2002, and Howard said, how does that work out? And he said, well, Howard, around 1975, I sat my wife down and I said, listen, honey, I'm the lead singer of The Who. And we just laughed and everybody knew the deal. Some chicks are like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, I
get it.
Me and my wife, we've had a conversation. This is early, and I mean, either way, I'm not shit anyway. But me and my wife, we've had a conversation, and I asked her, I said, do you want to be around or do you not want to be around? She's like, I don't want to be around. I don't want people knowing who I am that much. Like, I mean, she wants them. I talk about being married a lot.
Yeah.
She says she wants them to know I'm married, but she doesn't want to be the wife that's just standing there like she just doesn't want to be in. She
finds that to be more pathetic than the other way around.
And that's tough with comedy too, when you have like, the guys that their wife is coming on even to the poker games. It's like, dude, you need a little bit of.
We all have friends like that in comedy, and you're right. Like, what's going on? Because they're coming to your job technically.
Yeah.
Look. In the very beginning of a relationship, here's what I found with comedy being on the road. It's so, if you're lucky, it's so romantic. They're willing to come to Cleveland in February, Detroit in March. You're like, this is fun. We're going to Detroit together, whatever. Any city could be romantic because we're together, blah, blah, blah. But then after that first year, or sometimes 6 months, in my case, been a couple of weeks.
2 weeks later.
So a lot of times I go, you know what, maybe I won't come to Detroit. Right. And then they start to go, I'm just going to come to Miami.
I mean, who wants to go to Detroit
in February? I'll come to Miami. I'll go to Vegas in March. I'll go to L.A. I'll go to the fun towns, Chicago in the summer, whatever.
Or there's a place that like you're working with a friend and you're working on something and you're like, you should probably not come to this one because we're going to be working. And then that's the one she wants to go to.
Right. Well,
and,
so
I don't know. That's why we have the policy is, and our house is, you're automatically not going to anything. But if you want to come,
you sound like Ralph Grantham. You're not going fishing.
You go straight to the moon, bitch.
You are not going fishing.
But it is. I dated a girl in Canada that I saw once a month, and it was probably my ideal relationship because I just concentrated on my job. And then when I went to see her, it was just hanging out with her, and then I got to go back to my world. Right. And I know that's not functional, but...
Well, no, I seen my wife Sunday, and literally, my phone, I didn't touch any... I was with her for fucking 12 hours straight, and it was all her all the time, and then she left, went back to fitness.
Well, we have dysfunctional lives, comics. We do. I'm just saying that Twitter... Chris came in here and said, I'm losing my Twitter game. I'm like... The way to have game if you're married is not on Twitter.
But even that, like, how much do you put into chasing the girls? Like, it's just not like it's like. Would I rather?
I was just trying to.
I know.
I was trying to relive some shit in me.
Yeah.
And I realized I don't have that shit anymore.
You see the guys, that's all they do.
Yeah. Right. No. Well, some guys get into it for nothing but the pussy, and it gets to be a little annoying too.
Yeah, everything's about meeting this girl or doing that, or
and then they have shit acts that you got to deal with.
Right.
But just be careful of it. Be careful.
Yeah, too much.
Before you know it, you're going to be, if you get a big break, you'll be giving away all of it. I know your situation. No judge is going to have any sympathy for you.
What do you mean? They're like, we don't got no evidence on me. Play the podcast. You motherfucker.
Not even the podcast. Just look at the paper trail.
She's comfortable splitting everything right now.
Right. Well, no, she's not, because there's nothing to split.
It's all her. She's
making all the money. She's
definitely losing.
She's a nurse, too. She's a wonderful woman.
She's fucking great.
She's doing God's work, and he's running all over the place, getting spots at LOL. We have comedy clubs now named after shit.
Is that a real place?
Yeah, it's a real place.
Oh, yeah.
It's a club.
He got canceled there last night. OMGs is what I'm playing.
OMGs is still hiring.
How about LMAOs? LMAOs is that's where real funny guys were.
Oh, man. No,
LOL.
funny.
All right, so those are the two guys we're with, along with Chicago Dan Filato. And happy to be here with you guys. Let's talk. The world of sports has so much great shit going on. The Super Bowl's coming up, and still anybody, much to Bill Belichick and Brady's chagrin, all they can still talk about is Deflategate. And what came out is what we all predicted. And I'll give credit to Chicago Dan Filato. He's the first one who said this. Look for some equipment slacker, some equipment lackey to be driving a brand new Bentley or something.
Right.
But this kid, it looks like they're trying to let this kid take the entire fall.
Yeah.
Did they find a car or they find out there's
here's
an
what
equipment
happened.
guy?
Video shows an employee taking 24 footballs into a bathroom. It's on fucking video. Talk about a smoking gun. On Monday, is my point about Twitter, dude. Everything's on Twitter.
I'm fucked.
On Monday, Jay Glazer, by the way, I met Jay Glazer over the last few months. He's a really good guy. I like Jay. I had a fun lunch with him. But anyway, on Monday, Jay Glazer of Fox Sports added the next big piece of news in Deflategate, reporting that the NFL has interviewed a locker room attendant who allegedly took footballs from the officials' locker room after they had been inspected and approved to another area on the way to the field before the start of the game.
Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
now listen, guys. Let's just all grow the fuck up,
ugly.
as the late Joan Rivers would say. Brady claims to know nothing. Belichick and fucking Kraft claim to know nothing. That means this kid deflated footballs all by himself, all on his own. He took it upon himself to go, you know what? I know Tom likes his balls soft.
In a full bathroom.
I am going to take them into the bathroom and come on, guys. How much longer are we going to put up with this? It's clear no one's saying it affected the outcome of the game. In the second half, when we know the balls were all regulation, you won 28-0. Come on. Oh, are you going to really let this poor kid take the fall here?
Make him take the heat. Fuck it. This is the American way. Make him take the fucking heat.
That's the case. The American way is also compensation. All right, what is the compensation going to be for this poor kid?
Well, he only works part-time and he makes $200,000. There's something wrong.
I was going to say a Bentley ain't enough.
This is what they're going to do. They're going to make him take the heat. He's going to disappear for 6 months to 8 months where this shit blows over. And then he's going to get that big, until then he's going to get like little pieces of money. Then he's going to get that big chunk.
Or he winds up dead.
Yeah, I mean, that's also
know.
an option.
They'll pull the button on this kid. They'll pull Jimmy Conway in Goodfellas. Instead of paying, I knew Jimmy. He had the cash. Instead of paying the guys who stole the money, he'd rather keep it all for himself. And before you know it, you find this kid in a meat locker on a hook.
Well, that's what I was going to explain.
Yeah, it's interesting, Paul. Your thoughts on this?
Well, I was going to say my town is Owego Appalachian is the school district, and that's where...
That's upstate New York.
That's where the mafia had the first meeting of the Godfathers.
Sure.
And that's like... there's
Joe Barber's farm.
Yeah, that's the farm in my town.
Yep.
So that was like a thing. That's where what I'm dealing with. So that's the one that Robert De Niro drove a tractor from.
1958 or 57, one of those 2 years, supposedly, what Paul is referring to, that was the first indication, first proof that some sort of organized crime commission existed that the FBI and the CIA could find. There was a secret meeting, because, I mean, listen, and before this, the mob had it all on right at their fingertips, man. Paulie hated phones. No one used phones. It was all really secret. They were making hundreds of millions of dollars a year, and it was all based on secrecy. Now there's mob wives on TV shows. Nobody told broads anything.
You don't follow him on Twitter? I follow him on Twitter.
Nobody was on Twitter. If John Gotti knew you had a Twitter account, guess what? You're going to be on a meat hook.
But they did meet at this. They met at this farm.
They met at this
There's
farm.
a dirt road. They just put a stoplight in like 10 years ago,
right.
And these guys all drove up in Rolls Royces, like they weren't going to be spotted.
Yeah, and $20,000 silk suits. I don't like you, Mr. Corleone, with your greasy skin and hair and silk suits.
And all those people are still there, and I thought that would be a great documentary. And I started talking to people, and everyone knew about it, and then they got scared.
Nobody wants to talk.
Yeah,
Still, to this day, it's 50 fucking years later.
Yeah.
Shut your
Longer,
mouth.
55 years later. We're over a double nickel on the amount of years, and nobody's talking. Basically, somebody talked. They got a tip that this meeting was going to happen, and all the heads from around the country of mob families from around the country showed up at this farmhouse in Appalachia, New York. A small upstate New York town, and it was raided by the FBI and the CIA, mostly the FBI. J. Edgar Hoover found out about it. They raid the fucking thing, and all these guys in their $2,000 shoes, Italian leather shoes and beautiful suits, all ran out through the woods.
Right.
And then analyze this, they goof on it. But, from the what you hear, it's not really that far off from being the truth. And anyway, so basically, the Pats are kind of like the mafia of the NFL. And it's clear.
Who's going to stop them?
Well, it's clear that Kraft, with these outbursts because last night he interrupted a press conference that Brady and Belichick were supposed to, and just said, look, once again, we did nothing wrong, and I expect a full apology for what my poor quarterback and poor coach have been put through this whole week by the NFL. And he's basically reminding Roger Goodell who he fucking works for, and he works for Bob Kraft. So Brady not interviewed last week in this thorough investigation. The quarterback not interviewed. All they have, but this poor kid now, I guess you're going to interview him and they'll be all over this kid.
Well, they have a video of Aaron Hernandez stabbing the balls.
Think about all the controversy. Think about all the controversy the fucking Patriots have had. The fucking guy, their star receiver, tight end / Superman, everything, the future of the league, maybe murdered a guy. And his trial keeps getting... Yeah, a couple of people. His trial keeps getting postponed, by the way. Aaron Hernandez's trial. They've been... And Kraft was a big man and said, look, we're very against what Aaron Hernandez did, if it's true. So Kraft really going out on a line there. But very, very, very odd shit coming out of the Patriots camp.
I have a prediction.
Yeah.
I predict that you're going to see this ball boy, Jorge, whatever his name is.
Is it Jorge? Or are you just
No,
making
I just
that
think-
a racist, an insane racist, another Chicago liberal? This guy Jorge, he's probably Hispanic.
If we see him dating Gisele Bündchen's twin sister in about 6 months, we know what happened.
Gisele Bündchen has a twin sister, I'll tell you what.
She does.
That's a good ball boy.
Tom Brady might let him fuck Gisele. Listen, here's the thing. You're taking a fall for this, but Gisele is yours for a night. My husband cannot deflate the footballs and blow a guy at the same time. I have to blow the guy.
That's funny.
I was watching highlights of that amazing Indianapolis Super Bowl. The second, is that her sister?
That's the
Let me see
twin.
the sister.
She actually has a twin.
Yeah.
Gisele Bündchen's twin sister. It's Gisele without the nose job. Wow, look at her. She's hot.
She's hotter than Gisele, I think.
I don't know about that.
She looks more
the
natural.
bottom.
No, I kind of do like her more. She got a real
prettier
looking face.
face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
her face. I like that face, dude. I like that.
No, they're both smoking.
I mean, I like her face more.
Who's that next?
Chris, contact her on Twitter.
Wait, now,
Yo, what's her name on Twitter? Yeah,
You got your Twitter game going?
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it going.
Gummo Bündchen?
She can become a white woman ambassador.
Zeppo Bündchen. So, I don't know, 24 balls were brought in there by this fucking poor kid. So now they're questioning him. And that's the other thing.
Where's
These
the
guys-
pin, motherfucker?
Well, these guys, they need Kardashian's father to come back from the dead to hide the fucking pin, like he hid the knife for OJ. But these guys have professional grillers, man. You think this kid's gonna survive a grilling by these guys? I mean, they're gonna sit down and, unless they're working for Bob Kraft and don't want any wrong, to come to the fucking Patriots.
I mean, you'll find out real quick whether the kid has been tutored on exactly the worst case scenario situation.
I'm
if he
sure
just
they sat him
disappears
down.
and goes to Greece, then
Right.
How long do you think it takes till they waterboard him? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, that's the thing. You're not allowed to do any of that shit.
Not anymore.
We'll get it out of them real quick. Anyway, so interesting shit coming out of the Patriots.
does it affect the game at all? Do you think?
Well, that depends on people's mental strength. You never know. It could. Tom Brady seems like a guy who's not affected by shit like this, and Belichick does too, but it doesn't have a trickle-down effect and rattle other players on the team.
Well, but in sports, do they feel like the Patriots feel like everyone's coming down on us, then it's us against everybody else kind of thing?
That could happen, yeah. So you think they rally...
I think it brings you together when there's something like that.
I think it's you know what? Again, it's overkill on the Patriots' part. They would have won that game easily anyway. They made a mistake here with overkill and trying to basically cheat. That's the word for it. And now, they're catching all this shit when it should just be being celebrated for going to their 6th Super Bowl. Now think about that. That's what's getting lost in this whole thing. They won 3, they lost 2. This is the 6th bowl for Brady and Belichick.
Well,
this
that's
is the 6th fucking Super Bowl they've been to.
And Belichick basically won 2 of the Giants' Super Bowls,
As
too.
a defensive coordinator, Belichick has 2 rings with the Giants, yeah.
And was that David Tyree ball fully inflated? That's what I posted.
Well, he caught it like it wasn't. All right, so that's that. I mean, it's interesting shit. Real quick, a guy who works for the Fox News Corporation, I guess he was a reporter, right in front of the building this happened, shot himself, killed himself yesterday. And I don't know, anybody who works for Rupert Murdoch might be under a lot of pressure. I heard, is this true? Rupert Murdoch, if you work for Fox, you work for Rupert Murdoch, any one of his companies, like the New York Post, you have to sign something. He's allowed to go through your personal emails.
That's weird.
That's what I don't know for sure. I was told that by somebody.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah, it's
he
not
can
as
go
bad
through your personal emails.
if you send it from your work computer. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is terrifying, dude, to be in a job where it's that much. Do you go through my emails, Art?
I'm not paying you.
Just your Twitter. Only your
Just
Twitter.
my Twitter.
Well, everybody goes through that because you make it available.
Shit
You
is
make
on
it
it.
available.
If you want to get entertainment, follow me on Twitter at Con215.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh,
It's fun time. I'm telling you, trust me.
215. All right. The other thing in sports that aggravates me, but I got to defend him, is A-Rod wants his $300 million. A-Rod wants $300 million. He's going to be due it for what they call milestone bonuses, which is a new thing that they put into contracts. Basically, the Yankees signed this in 2007 with him. Every milestone he breaks home run wise, he gets more money. And the next milestone up, he's 6 home runs away from 660 homers, which means, or 661 homers, which means he breaks it. 660 is the amount of home runs Willie Mays had. And it's such a shame. I mean, the size of the asterisk that should be next to his fucking name. Because clearly it's cheating. Don't try to tell me any fucking different. It's cheating. Look at his stats. In the 3 years he admitted to definitely doing PEDs, those stats he put up in Texas are extraordinary. It's like Superman was playing fucking baseball. 50 home runs a year, 340, 350 batting averages, 140, 160 RBIs a year. It's craziness. And, but listen, here's the thing. I think it's bullshit. I think if A-Rod were a class act, he'd say, no, with all that's happened, I don't want the bonuses. It's overkill. It's a bit much. It's going to be $300 million total. If he could get to 700, it's more. If he breaks Babe Ruth 714, it's more. And of course, if he breaks, which I don't think is going to happen because his hips are bad, but and he's older. But if he breaks the record, 755, which to me is the real record, not the fucking douchebag Bonds number.
Yeah.
But if he breaks 755, which is the amount Aaron had, Hank Aaron, he gets more money. It totals $300 million. If he was a big man, he'd do the right thing. Okay, the right thing would be not to get the money. But, you know, no one's going to have sympathy for the fucking Yankees. The Yankees have $1 trillion fucking dollars. You sign a contract, you take a risk. They didn't put anything in clear writing about PEDs, I guess, in there or whatever. Maybe there's morals clauses. But the Yankees are fighting this tooth and nail, which means the distraction this is going to be going into spring training is going to be insane. And we don't fucking need this. You got the most famous guy on the team in a bitter fight with management over money. He doesn't want to, they don't want to pay him the $300 million. A-Rod says, I deserve the $300 million because I signed the contract. And guess what? I hate A-Rod with a fucking passion.
Right.
That pink pillowy lip douchebag. I can't stand his ass. But the Yankees signed the fucking contract. They have the money. They probably got to pay him. Paul, your thoughts?
Well, we're both diehard Yankee fans, and we both hate A-Rod, and you can put on one hand the amount of big hits that he's gotten in his entire career.
Not even one hand.
Right.
He doesn't hit in the fucking clutch. He's the kind of guy who goes 5 for 5 against, the Royals in May.
When they're up by 10 already. So
Right.
It's like, so as a Yankee fan, nobody has real respect for him. And the only reason you get those bonuses is because they feel like it's going to entice like TV coverage and it's going to, and the Yankees aren't going to get any of that because nobody gives a shit. There's no A-Rod fans anymore.
No, that's that. You're right. I mean, even it seems like people in his family are abandoning him.
Right.
Nobody likes A-Rod.
And with
not even his lawyers because he's not paying them.
Right. And with Jeter, I mean, they were even trying to maneuver not paying him enough money. and he's the most beloved guy in the history.
Well, listen,
and it's like, hey, you're not hitting what you used to. It's like, hey, but I mean this much to the team, so you got to pay that.
Jeter got money for what he. I mean, listen, he was packing people the last 2 years into the stands. He got the 3,000 hits, and he did it in a very Jeter way. This 3,000 hit is a fucking home run.
Yeah,
he goes 5 for 5 that day. That's Derek Jeter.
Well, the last game, the
last at bat, he gets a hit. That's Derek Jeter baseball, and he's getting paid for past accomplishments. But listen, you bring up a good point. We're good friends with Derek Jeter. He calls the show all the time. And Derek, if you're listening, next time you call in, Derek. It's Derek Jeter. It's Derek Jeter. Just saying, great podcast. Keep up the good work. But we want to hear, Derek, next time you call, give us your thoughts on the $300 million. Give us your thoughts on he signed the contract. As a guy in the players union, most guys would probably say, I'm a pro-union guy. I got to be. He deserves the money. Look, it's Derek Jeter. They signed the contract. They got to pay him. I don't like the guy. He's an asshole. I've known he's a cocksucker before anybody knew he was a cocksucker. When we were 20 years old, he was a fucking cocksucker.
How you doing, Artie? It's Derek Jeter, man. How you doing? I just want to congratulate you.
The legend.
How you doing, Artie? It's Derek Jeter, man.
So there you go.
I just want to congratulate you.
Thank you, Derek.
I banged Giselle's sister.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
Thanks for coming to the games.
Thanks for coming to the game. So, Derek, next time you call, please give us your thoughts on whether or not he deserves it. So, what do you think, Paul? Do you think bottom line, should he get the 300?
Well, the incentives are based on you getting to this point, but if you've cheated to get to that milestone.
But is that in the contract? That's where the gray area comes.
Right.
Do they specifically mention PEDs in the contract? Is it covered in the morals clause, like doing drugs?
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
Like drinking over 100 beers on the plane for Wade Boggs? That was in the contract?
Or Babe Ruth could.
Did you hear that story?
No.
Yeah, I heard it on
What
Always
happened?
Funny.
Wade Boggs, I guess It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They did a story about how Wade Boggs supposedly had 31 beers on a cross-country flight once. So they tried to do it.
31 beers?
Yeah. But
who was he, Butarski?
But he wouldn't ever clarify that. And then I guess Wade Boggs told the guy privately it was actually 103. And like Jeff Nelson and all these guys said, it was like a regular thing.
1 second. 103 beers on one cross-country 6-hour flight?
He would start in the clubhouse.
Oh, now it makes sense.
Well, still though, and then play the next day.
I'm kidding. It doesn't make sense. Listen, that just makes him. Does any guy here think that doesn't just make him cooler? That makes him cool.
And he was downplaying it too. Like he didn't want that to be a big deal.
And it's not a PED. I don't think beer is a PED.
Oh, it's terrible.
I mean, that's why you loved fucking Babe Ruth. I'll tell you what, Babe Ruth's old roommate, the shit Babe Ruth's roommates must have had to put up with. This guy tells the funniest fucking story. He goes, the Babe, this guy's telling it like he's 90 years old in the documentary. He goes, the Babe was so funny. I roomed with the Babe on the road, and one day, he would get drunk, he'd bring women in there, and he thought everything was so funny. He was a funny guy. One day I was in the shower, and I was lathering up. I had all soap in my face, and I felt a warm stream on my back. And I turned around, and the Babe was urinating all over my back. And he had a big cigar, and he had a woman with him, and he was naked, and he was urinating all over my back in the shower. And the girl was laughing. Babe was laughing. God, he just thought that was so funny. That's what he said. He goes, God, he just thought that was so funny. Can you imagine? There's no one you can complain to. There's no one. Like, you go, Mr. Hawkins.
He peed on my back.
Who cares? If he peed in your mouth, I could give a shit.
What are you hitting this year?
Imagine turning around and seeing Babe Ruth peeing on your back. I felt a warm stream. And he's in there with a chick. That chick is got his fucking naked. A naked Babe Ruth was not a naked Derek Jeter, I'll tell you that. Well, quickly, your thoughts on this,
How you doing, Artie? It's Derek Jeter, man.
You think he deserves the $300 million?
Congratulate you.
To be honest with you,
on your new podcast, and best of luck.
Derek, please. The $300 million, does he?
Thanks.
I think he does because it's contractual. You know, I'm not a baseball dude. Like I fucking know. I don't give a fuck. I feel like contracts are contracts. Give him his fucking money. He is a
Look,
bit of a
everyone
douche.
hates his guts.
He is a douche. He's
Everyone
a
hates
douche.
his
But you
guts.
can't take his douchey money.
But the Yankees are not some cry poor me. Like Chicago, Dan Filato's a Cub fan. You don't want to hear the Yankees whine. Do you care?
I mean, it was even Philly. I'd probably.
Yeah, what do you?
I don't want to see you New Yorkers whine about this fucking weather. Our subway doesn't stop.
Oh, will you
Subway's
I'm
under
not
the
asking
ground.
you that douchebag. You guys are whining about the weather. Believe me, I'll play tape of Dan talking to a dog. You'll hear.
You didn't let the goat in the game, though, right?
Yeah, I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear the Yankees whine, but I do think breaking contracts.
But did he break it? That's the point.
No. I'm saying the Yankees.
The Yankees will break it.
Right, the Yankees shouldn't break it.
Yeah, I don't think
it sets a bad precedent.
Yes,
I agree. Because as much as I hate it, and I begrudge him the fucking money, but he signed a deal. The Yankees don't want to pay it now, and I'm a Yankee fan, but they sound like wusses.
Give him his fucking money.
It will almost force Major League Baseball to kind of make a harder decision on whether he's going to have an asterisk, by all those records.
That's a separate issue. I think he deserves that. Is there one next to Bonds with the home runs? Did they put one next to him?
I think there is, right?
Yeah, he only beat it by 7 homers. Yeah.
But like every milestone that A-Rod gets, are the Yankees going to completely half-ass it? You know what I mean? Like
that's the thing. Yeah. If they do it now, his lawyers are arguing they'll do it way down the line. And the Yankees' best argument is we're coming off a guy like Derek Jeter who was so classy.
Right.
So we didn't begrudge him the money because he was worth every dime. But still, you signed a contract. What A-Rod's lawyers are, and it's going to feel hard for him to find lawyers because he's not paying any lawyers. But what A-Rod's lawyers are going to have to prove is that this did break some sort of morals clause. That's what he admitted to the PEDs. It's clear there's evidence he was doing them in a very nefarious, illegal way. His name's in that guy's book. He should be in the joint compared to what a lot of people think. Yeah. He should be in the joint fucking doing time. The Yankees are like, he's getting a lot of money anyway, $300 million, no fucking way. But I say if they can't prove that, you got to pay him the money.
But it's been 3 years in the making of how much for you to just go away.
Yeah.
Like that's what
they want. They want him to go away. They do. Yeah. Would you like to see him as a fan go away? I would. It's too much of a distraction.
I've never
you got Utley at third? Fuck it, right? I mean, no.
Yeah, it's the one thing that whenever people say, "Oh, you're just paying guys to come there." I think most of the guys like Yankees, there's certain guys that do really perform here and they're team players.
Sure.
Those are the guys that I really respect, like Mattingly and guys like that don't get the respect. But
the white guys.
But I would say Mickey Rivers.
You can say what you want.
Mickey
performed. Mickey performed just as if he was white. Absolutely.
Willie Randolph, Oscar Gamble.
Willie Randolph, one of the classiest human beings who's ever lived, and I love Willie. But no, A-Rod has none of that in him.
And that's when people pick on Yankee, like for Dan. That's the one sore spot that we have because we do have fucking A-Rod. So it's like we
made this decision.
Yeah,
we would have in '98 with David Wells, who pitched a fucking perfect game that year. By the by, we won 114 games, and they still traded him. And there's a good trivia question. Who did the fucking Yankees throw in the deal? We got Clemens for David Wells and somebody else. There's Yankee trivia. Who did we throw in that fucking deal to make it a little sweeter, which meant nothing in the long run? The Yankees traded Wells and another, I'll give you a hint, non-pitcher.
Randy Velarde?
No. Good guess, though. That fucking
Tweet.
asshole.
Spike Owen?
That asshole.
I'll just list off every shortstop from the 80s.
I'll tell you what, that's the problem. We can't even take a break for that now because you guys, someone will send it to you, motherfuckers.
Give the voicemail and have them call it in.
No, don't. They can just Google it.
I know, but
that doesn't make any sense.
Talk to him like you give a fuck,
doesn't
right?
make any sense.
Jim Abbott?
No, the guy had to have 2 arms. By the way, one of my first stand-up jokes when I was a regular, I got booed at the old Improv on 9th Avenue and 44th Street. I said, I saw Jim Abbott out at a bar, and he was all cocky and arrogant and treating people condescending. And I walked up to him and I said, Jim, how dare you? Do you know how many kids would give their right arm to be a pitcher for the New York Yankees? Boo! Not that funny, but it was ballsy. Going around the room, no idea? It was an infielder.
No.
An infielder. Dan?
I do not know.
Homer Bush. The Yankees, for Roger Clemens, we gave David Wells and Homer Bush. That sweetened the deal. So, so the Yankees have done shit like that forever. And they got A-Rod. They wanted A-Rod, and they went out and got him after an 03 season where we got to the World Series, and everyone, and so the Yankees should have to pay. I'm against it, but they should have to pay. If you want to call in with your thoughts on that and leave voicemails either tonight or tomorrow, the number's 202-780-7848. 202-780-7848. Paul Marzy's here. Great comic. And give your Twitter some plugs before we go to break.
Paul has a website.com. We got the podcast is alleyooppodcast.com.
Nice.
Which I'm going to have Mickey Mantle's roommate from minor leagues.
And the Mick
I got to hear those stories.
I'm sure they were great. Okay, so that's Paul. He's going to hang with us. And we got another segment coming up where we're going to have fun. Speaking of voicemails, we got another 50 fucking voicemails. We'll get to whatever ones we can because a lot of lunatics listen.
I want to shout my 2 white women ambassadors. Dude, this is fun. Yo, this is fun to me. For me, I don't know, because Artie, you're not young like a motherfucker. I have nothing.
We ready there, Fruity?
Ready.
Okay, welcome back. Artie Quitter Podcast. Back on. Chris Cotton's here. Paul Marcy. Paul, of course, in town to do
nothing.
Nothing. Except this. But he's going to be at the Washington, D.C. Improv.
DC Improv this weekend, January 29th to the 31st.
Tonight, too? Is
No.
that tonight? No, okay.
I was supposed to do Gotham tonight, but New York City is still shut down, apparently.
And, Chris has a gig that didn't get shut down, all right? Tonight you're going to be at a club somewhere?
Back at shitty LOL.
It's
a great club. LOL's great club.
Really shut that one loud. My God, I'm back at LOL.
I was thinking about just going to Madison Square Garden and picking up the Louis C.K. scraps just to see who shows up. Just get a flatbed in front and
get some of that Louis pussy.
I mean, if he's not showing, I can do the time.
Guys, have you heard of Gotham Comedy Club? Ladies. All right, well, we've been having one of the most fun aspects of this show is some of these voicemails. We have maniacs who, quite frankly, the FBI might want to make a list of some of these people who call into this show. Our character guy, our Derek Jeter guy, he called back with a bunch of new characters. But according to Dan, we got some insane racist stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I like to think this isn't our demographic, but maybe they're trying to be funny. Let's start off with some insane racist stuff.
Dan's way too happy.
Chris, are you prepared for this?
Okay, when it gets extremely racist, to throw y'all off, I'm going to shout out one of my Twitter fans.
No. At the end, you can.
I'm going to shout all of y'all out.
Okay, go ahead.
2 of y'all. This is going to get sad.
I have to say, I did not like when I found out you had a nigger on your show.
Jesus Christ.
At least it ain't one of those damn Indians. Them motherfuckers. They gave us the land and wanted it back.
All right, wait, stop for a second.
They gave you the
Clearly, this guy is clearly doing a character.
Is there
he's trying to be Southern, and he's not Southern. He's trying to be funny. Well, that's not the issue. He's hilarious. But, I mean, this is clearly a fake. But, my God, these people have no issue with this. Go ahead. Let's hear it. Let's hear his Indian bit.
I have to say, I did not like when I found out you had a nigger on your show.
My God.
But at least it ain't one of those damn Indians. Them motherfuckers. They gave us the land and wanted it back.
This is his Letterman spot.
Or the dot heads, they're worse. But I guess everybody in old times had a house nigger. Unfortunately, yours isn't fucking funny. He's just a filthy animal you keep around. And that Joe Matarese, fuck him. He's eating all your goddamn food. Who begged who to be there? And now, if that's not a perfect point, I don't know what is.
I don't think you know
fuck your gay...
I don't think you know what is a perfect point. A typical comedian, Chris could care less about the N-word. The unfunny thing, he's really...
Come on, man. I'm not funny, motherfucker.
Buried the lead right there.
Kids, and leave the goddamn show alone.
My God. Oh, gee, that is brutal. All right, let's hear more of it.
I'm guessing he doesn't follow me on Twitter.
Artie, baby. This is your buddy from Twitter. This is the Teflon Jew. Something a little disconcerting happened last night on Twitter. I'm going through your tweets because I find your Twitter very entertaining most nights, and I see you're arguing with a guy back and forth, a guy with one follower who ripped you. He threw a couple slights your way, and you went back and forth with a guy with one follower. So I don't know. That's not typical for a guy. B-level celebrity such as yourself. Everything okay? You know, I mean, did you have a bad week gambling? I mean, seriously, you can't stoop to that level, my friend.
Teflon Jew checking in.
Sensible.
And let me say this. Let me just say this. Have you seen Sam Simon lately? You want to talk about karma? Fuck me, man. I mean, you know, you were ranting about that the other day, and I saw a picture of him. Must have been posted this week. I mean, the guy's got no muscle tone whatsoever. It looks like shit. I mean, listen, the universe pulled his card. I mean, so we don't even need to get into that.
You just
that's a situation where we need to take the high road, my friend. But yeah, you can't do that. You can't argue with guys with one follow. Bad move, bad Twitter move. Must have been a dark moment for you.
Not till now.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that great show, man. I listen basically daily. It gets me through the day. And I also want to say that Dan Filato is a fag. I'd like to say that. All right, buddy. Take care.
Oh my God, they're out of control.
Hey, also, Art, did you get that picture of my asshole I sent to you last night on Twitter? I sent you a picture of my asshole.
I did get it, yeah.
For a retweet. Didn't get a retweet out of that one, so maybe you see it.
Wait, is this the Teflon Jew?
Whatever. All right, take care, buddy.
Play that again?
About his asshole?
Yeah, play that again.
Okay.
Say that great show, man. I listen basically daily. It gets me through the day. And I also want to say that Dan Filato is a fag. I'd like to say that. All right, buddy. Take care. Hey, also, Art, did you get that picture of my asshole I sent to you last night on Twitter?
Hey, also!
I sent you a picture of my asshole. I was kind of hoping for a retweet. Didn't get a retweet out of that one.
Sorry.
So maybe you didn't see it, I'm assuming. Whatever. All right. Take care, buddy.
You know, retweet that guy's asshole.
It's Bobby Lee.
It does sound. That's the Teflon Jew.
Oh, these fans, man, I love them, man. They're good.
Yeah, they're good.
Jesus Christ.
Artie, I just want to thank you for everything you did to your body simply to entertain us.
It's gonna get
I just want to let you know that it's still real to me, damn it. Captain Redneck, Dick Murdoch, and all of them.
What the fuck?
What was that?
What was that?
Yeah, move on.
That
guy, I think his medication stopped.
It says 3 characters into.
I know, he was doing another.
Artie, hey, it's me. It's Michael Jackson. I'm here in heaven, Artie. Listening to your podcast. Here in heaven, listening to your podcast. In my tree, listening to you and Dan Filato. Artie, remember when you cried? You cried at my concert? I wanted to touch your penis, Artie. I wanted to come down and kiss your penis. Kiss your penis, Artie.
The worst Michael Jackson I've ever heard.
Is that the Derek Jeter guy?
Perez.
Yeah. What guy? He buried that lead too. Michael Jackson's his best impression.
he was terrible.
Let's hear it.
Here it comes.
All right.
Sitting in my car outside the house, I can feel the heater coming round. Hey, this is Bruce. What time can I pick up my laptop? I dropped it off. Some malware, some viruses removed. Thanks so much. Give me a call back. Bruce Springsteen. Thank you.
Oh, the songs are back.
Sitting in my car outside. I can feel the heater coming round, baby.
Listen to this. This guy is just sitting there doing this for God knows how long.
And Bruce doesn't have Apple Care.
Can't afford it.
He's got a virus.
Michael Jackson and Bruce without Apple Care. Go ahead.
Paul, you hear a lot of those people just chiming in, saying who they are after they do the impression. They're that good. They're that good.
All of my love, all of my love, all of my love. Hey, this is Led Zeppelin. Let me get a pickup order for some fucking egg rolls, romaine, some broccoli, and some Szechuan shit. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Bird.
This is Led Zeppelin. That guy probably doesn't know Led Zeppelin's not a person.
This is Led Zeppelin.
I'm Leonard Skinner.
Yeah. Hey, this is Pink Floyd. This is Pink Floyd Mayweather.
Fleetwood Mac here.
Pink Floyd Mayweather.
Hey, this is Drew Hill.
Fleetwood Mac. Go ahead.
Oh, that's funny.
Hey, Artie, it's Pete from upstate. I just want to say I've been listening to your show forever, read your books, etc. I'm about the same age as you, did all the same things, came from a lower class, half Italian house.
Lower class?
You played sports, did all the things that you did. My father didn't fall off a roof, but otherwise he was out of the picture, pretty early on. And, but I took a slightly different route. I went to college and tried to play by the rules, and I'm about the same age as you, and maybe a little bit overweight and half Italian, like I said.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you, I think you made the right choices. I have a wife that I've been with for 20 years. She's a crazy person. She just gets worse and worse every year. Puts on another. 5-10 pounds a year. What's that times 20? Who knows? Unappreciative kids. It's just crazy time. So, I think you made all the right choices there. I think, maybe I've taken a little bit better care of my health than you. But otherwise, I don't think you'd trade places with me. So don't have any regrets, Artie. And hope all's well. Okay? Good luck.
I love Pete. Pete was great.
Oh, my God.
Setup. He did the setup.
He started out boring with just giving us statistic after statistic and then about his life, but then he got amazing because guess what he did? The first rule of comedy, honest. Yeah. He got honest, and he said, basically got a wife, gets worse and worse, gets 10 pounds fatter every year, unappreciative kids.
A lot of jokes, a lot of punchlines.
That was a therapy session for the first 2 minutes.
That poor guy. You know what? If I saw that guy, I'd give him a big hug, man. I really would, because that is the life, and most comedians who don't come from, a rich family, most comedians would say that's the life we were all scared to death of having. Yeah. Moving to a house that's just a few blocks or a few towns away from the house you grew up in, and you get that wife and the unappreciative fucking little jerk-off kids. I know some kids, friends, family, whatever, you talk to them, and they are just little ass wipes, little asshole fucking jerk off kids with attitudes. They get the attitude. They go on the computer and get these fucking attitudes.
And the dads can't be a dad anymore. They gotta be smiley. Oh, that's okay, champ. They're all beaten down.
One kid was wearing a One Direction shirt, a 7-year-old kid, one of my buddy's kids. And I said, that shirt at a barbecue. I said, hey, that shirt's gay. And he looked at me without missing a beat. He went, you're gay. And I got so mad. I was like, fuck, I got nothing.
Well, I kind of like that kid.
I got nothing.
But that's
you're gay.
That's every guy that you meet. Like after a show, every married, beaten down guy will have one drink and they'll say, "Oh, this must be great. My wife won't fuck me and my kids don't respect me, but this is good. This is good." They'll just slide it in.
Matt Reese has a great bit about
his life.
It's like being he goes, it's like any time is great that you're not with your kids. It seems like Vegas, New Year's Eve. And all it has to be is you just have to not be with your children. Right. All right, let's hear more of this shit.
Yeah, Artie, why don't you try and making the voice message longer? You dago, wop, gimme, garlic breath, pizza flinging, spaghetti bending, victimo, Perry Como, Luciano Pavarotti, solo me and not a singing motherfucker. All jokes aside, my name is Patrice. I have, unfortunately, a girl's name, and I would like to be put in charge of the Black Artie Lang fan club. I think calling ourselves the Artie Blaine fans. Especially, black fans of Artie Lang.
All right, you got it.
So give that some thought.
I thought about it. You got it.
Let your people talk that through.
No one else has applied for the job.
The likes of Dan Filato and that jerk off that does the sound effects. I forget his name.
Jerk off.
Love the podcast.
James Flippin.
I'm one of, I believe, 8 black subscribers to the podcast.
Good.
We're a small cohort, but powerful.
He ain't lying.
We want to double that. We want to double that number. Double that number. But Patrice, you have the same name as one of the greatest comics ever. Patrice, so now dead, of course.
You reminded me more of the Arsenio character in Coming to America. I will tear you apart.
Oh, that was funny.
But yeah, he went with the Guinea Wop Dago from Do the Right Thing. Yeah, that's
he prepared material.
Patrice, I would say thank you for doing something racist towards Artie because I get most of that.
We play everything.
I know, play it all. It's just I know I get a lot of, but also I call the dudes quitters. That's what I call them on Twitter.
Quitters that's what I call my guys. Quitters.
Yeah, I call
quitters
guys
is.
quitters.
I started that the Tonight Show years ago. Just Google me, you'll see it. But no, I listen. We welcome all kinds of colors and all kinds of racism. All kinds of racism.
All you racist quitters out there.
Please make it equal.
Racist, lazy motherfuckers. That's what we want. We want to corner that market. Go ahead. Let's hear this.
Hi, Artie. This is Dave Wilcox at the Bronx Zoo. Recently, one of our male gorillas, Christopher Cotton, escaped from his winter enclosure here at the zoo. We have been informed that he's been seen and heard on your podcast. We're actually interested in having Chris come back to the zoo. So if you would contact me with your information, we can come over and bring some bananas, set up a trap, and bonk him on the head, bring him here back to the zoo. All the kids love that big old monkey.
I did not see that coming.
So give me a call back.
He's laughing.
He was laughing. That was a good one.
He cracked himself up.
That was a great. No one seen it coming.
His winter enclosure.
You know what made that good? The fact that it sounded like a real voicemail. They would leave. That was good.
Dave Wilcox.
Dave Wilcox was great.
He's found a new winter enclosure. It's called My Apartment. Oh my God!
That was great.
You're not going to hear that.
Paul, how did you feel about that?
That was pretty funny.
Don't let your white guilt get in the way of these laughs. You fucking laugh at it.
We're all laughing.
I know, but Paul, I don't want him to look like, I don't know if I can. I want you to know you can.
Oh, no, don't believe me.
This is the one place you can still do that.
Yeah.
You're not going to hear that on a lot of podcasts.
It reminded me of...
That's what my friends would say to me.
I think it was Geraldo brought up Patrice at a roast one time, and he said, remember, everyone, no flash photography. I thought he was going to put that one in from the Bronx.
One of my favorite Geraldo jokes, Ralphie May was on the dais that Geraldo said, Ralphie May is one of the only guys who comes watching a porno as soon as the pizza guy delivers it. All right, go ahead. That was funny, but terrible.
Yeah, I love
it. Just say terrible.
Support the Bronx.
I love that. Dave Wilcox is great.
Cool walking, smooth talking, straight, smooth, fire stoking. Hey, Artie, this is Pete Townsend. I want to say hello. All right, bye.
Wait a minute. I want you to play that again in a second. But first observation, he sounds like a redneck. That sounds like that. Not even would you have thought before you said Pete Townsend that was even close to someone English?
No way.
That's a fucking redneck from Alabama.
Bill Engvall.
Here's your sign. Hey, this is Pete Townsend. You might be a redneck if. Hey, play that again. What is this?
Cool walking, smooth talking, straight, smooth, fire stoking. Hey, Artie, this is Pete Townsend. Just wanted to say hello. All right, bye.
Pete Townsend.
What was the beginning song? Is he trying to?
Is that a Who song?
Smooth talking.
Play it one more time.
Cool walking, smooth talking, straight, smooth, fire stoking. Hey, Artie, this is Pete Townsend. Just wanted to say hello.
No idea.
That's an Ace of Base song.
That's so far. That's the worst impression.
That's terrible.
Pete Townsend. All right, let's hear the next one.
Hey, Artie, this is Bob Levy. Man, I'm so horny when I get home, I'm going to beat my dick after you owes me money.
Yeah.
Fucking Chappelle stole that from me.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, can I get a ride?
I got a gig and I got no way to get to the firehouse. Later.
So did you give him the ride?
Let me tell you something. Bob Levy is one of the best comics I've ever seen on stage. But Bob, again, if we get him in here, he'll still claim. Bob claims he wrote that joke. I'm going to beat my dick like it owes me money. And Chappelle put it in an episode of the Chappelle Show where a puppet who's playing a hack comic says it. And Bob called me up. I was on the Stern Show and Chappelle was coming in to do the news. And Bob said, I'm calling in to accuse him of stealing that. I said, Bob, please don't. Please don't do that. Please don't call in and claim you wrote that joke. He goes, I'm doing it. Fuck it. So he calls in and says, Chappelle, I want to talk about how you stole my joke on your show. He goes, what? And Chappelle's like, what joke you talking about, motherfucker? And he's like, it beats my dick. I'm going to beat my dick like it owes me money. That's my joke. There was a pause and Chappelle went, oh, so you a hack? Everybody laughed. I defended Bob. Because Bob, as a technician on stage, I've never seen someone with better comedic timing. Listen, is it possible he wrote that joke? Well, let's go around the room. We have comedians here. And, I almost said Dan Filato. Dan Filato has been around a lot of comics. In the comedy world, he's worked as a comedic writer. Is there any chance that Bob Levy, who is, I believe, 71 years old, is there any chance Bob Levy wrote the joke, I'm going to beat my dick like it owes me money? Paul?
No. But it is, there are certain guys that they're so in their own tunnel vision that
so you're calling him crazy.
No one could think of something that I thought
Or you're calling him delusional?
A little bit of that, yeah.
So you're saying he actually made it up in his head, or I'm saying he heard it.
Well, the fact that he came up with it means that no one else could have come up with it.
Oh, yeah, but you see, don't you think he actually heard it somewhere else, and you think he made it up?
Probably.
Maybe he did. I mean, Bob's written some amazing jokes. The other joke he claims he wrote was, the only way you can have a funny bone in your body is if I fucked you in the ass. He claims he wrote that, too. And he also claimed that Richard Belzer stole that from him on a roast.
Well,
I'm telling you, Belzer stole that joke. I'm telling you right now.
I believe that one more than the first one.
Well, okay, Chris, what do you think about the first one?
Okay, the first one with beat my dick like it owes me money.
Is there any chance Bob Levy wrote that joke?
I'm 95% sure he didn't, because I've heard that in stories my grandpa was telling.
Okay, that's what I mean. Bob is not. I'm arguing for Bob in the sense that Bob's much too young. This is a rare argument where Levy's too young for something.
Black guy's been saying shit like that for years.
So you don't think he could have?
Yeah, fucking black.
And you're saying he stole it from a black man, much like Led Zeppelin's first album.
But what about they did call in here, by the way. But they
we should ask Led.
Well, like even Richard Lewis saying like he was the first person to say like that's
from
something from hell, and it's like,
well, he might know that. He might have been. He might have been. Yeah, I mean, he, in the early 70s on stage at the Improv, he used to say she was like the ex-wife from hell, and that sounds so hacky now. And so, but someone originally did do that, and that's way more believable to me than beat my dick like it owes me money. Dan Filato, your thoughts?
I agree with the panel. I don't think Bob... when I was younger, I got to go to Las Vegas and hear all these old comedians, and I remember that joke.
Yeah.
So I don't...
was Levy one of the comedians?
No.
Some things, even if you did do it first in your mind, or if you think it, you just don't claim certain shit either. It's just so overdone, you just don't claim it.
The hardest thing to admit as a comedian is that you happen to think of a joke that you thought was great and original, and the reason and the way you found out it's not great and that original is someone else thought of the same exact thing.
Yeah. Right.
You know, that's happened to a lot of us. But in this case, maybe that's the case. I think Bob heard it somewhere, and in between the coke and booze haze, thinks and did it so much on stage. Because there's some jokes that may be like public domain, like "Row, row, row your boat" is a public domain song. That's one of them.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe,
so that's the happy birthday of jokes.
It could be the happy birthday. or I mean, unless Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney bought the rights to it. Much like all,
got more chins than the Chinese.
Stuff like that. I think Bob might think he wrote that too.
Yeah. That was. I think it was on your show. He was talking about how he came up with that.
So he wrote all the hacky bits?
Yeah.
He says that too?
Well, I think he was pretending that was his joke, and everyone's like, oh, that's an old joke. And they're like, what do you mean?
Well, he doesn't pretend. That's the thing. Bob doesn't do irony. All right, I love Levy, but I don't know. There's a question about that. And again, I begged him, when Chappelle's on, do not call and claim it.
Well, you have enough.
Did he also wrote the priest walking to the bar thing? Did he always write that joke?
Exactly.
Well, you've had enough stuff on TV. Have you ever caught somebody or believe something because there's so many nuances too. Like he definitely stole.
Someone's
that.
done similar bits to mine where I could, if I really wanted to bitch about it, I could make. But you never know. You never know.
But you see, like there's these two punchlines, and they're still using this word even that wouldn't,
Right.
I mean, there's a couple of telltale signs.
It's interesting.
It's
interesting. I don't know. But Bob will, sure will be on soon. Bob will be on this network soon.
I think we all agree, not a funny joke either way.
I mean, beat my dick like
12.
it owes me money. The first time I heard it, I probably giggled, but the laugh quickly goes away. But Chappelle to go, oh, so you a hack. Summed it up in like 2 seconds, but go ahead.
You're for domestic violence.
Hey, Artie. This is Mike Puccetti. Just wanted to call for a little didgeridoo.
Horrible.
Cheers, mate.
From what? Where's he calling from? Cheers, mate. Oh, wait, that's Puccetti doing a bad English accent. Well, he just did Pete Townsend doing a bad English accent.
Spot of tea.
Well, yeah. So here's the thing, because we're going to have a spot of tea, because here's the thing, we're going to go to the Thames, and here's the thing, we're going to have some mashes and goat, and here's the thing, we're going to go to the eye of the needle, and here's the thing, we're going to have some bangers and mash, and here's the thing. He keeps saying, here's the thing, and because. Here's the thing, because we're over having a spot. Here's the thing, we're across the pond, Artie, and here's the thing.
And the Queen met us at Faulty Towers.
Here's the thing, the Queen, and here's the thing, Benny Hill just said to me that
good Benny Hill reference.
Here's the thing. Absolutely fabulous. It's a great show, and I love it so much. Any more?
Hey, this is Joe Matarese. And I got a message for you, Artie. How dare you tell Joe Matarese that he can't eat out of your refrigerator? If Joe Matarese wants to eat Artie Lang's pussy,
what?
Then that's what Joe Matarese is going to do.
I don't like this Joe Matarese.
Because we all know that Joe Matarese is the star of the Artie Lang Quitter podcast.
Oh!
Now, if you'll excuse me, Joe Matarese has to go wipe his son's asshole. All right, Artie. I will check you later.
I love how he pauses because he's thinking of a new great line. This is Joe Matarese. I gotta clean my son's asshole. Oh.
Where are my capizios?
Where are my capizios? They're being steamed by my fucking wife. Interesting. I'll play a couple more before we take a break.
Hey, Artie. It's Alan from Albany.
What?
I'm not going to be able to listen to the podcast today. I can't stop throwing up or shitting. I feel like a jerk off doing this all the time, but...
Oh, you know what I think he's doing?
I just don't know what to do. I'm going to try and rest today. Hopefully I'll be able to listen tomorrow. All right, man. Bye.
He's doing me calling in sick at the Stern Show. Oh, those voicemails to hear them back. Hey, Gary, Tony. And I turned to my pretend sick on heroin voice. Nothing's worse than heroin withdrawals, and you realize you have to do a show for 20 million people. I don't think I can make it. Carmen. No excuse now with my commute being 4 feet from my bedroom. Dan, let's play another one before we take a quick break, and then we'll wrap this up.
Hi, Artie. It's Gloria Estefan.
Is it?
Let's say hello to all the Latin listeners and the podcast. No, it's amazing. Keep up the good work.
It's Gloria Estefan.
I'm so glad she called in. I was hoping.
Where's the sound machine?
I love how she called in after this voicemail. Play the Bronx Zoo one. That's Gloria Estefan and this.
Hi, Artie. This is Dave Wilcox at the Bronx Zoo. Recently, one of our male gorillas, Christopher Cotton, escaped from his winter enclosure here at the zoo. We have been informed that he's been
been seen and heard on your podcast. We're actually interested in having Chris come back to the zoo.
He's got a first and last
so
name.
if you would contact me with your information, we can come over and bring some bananas, set up a trap, and bonk them on the head, bring them here back to the zoo. All the kids love
that's nice.
That big old monkey.
Bonk him on the head.
So give me a call back.
This guy's letting the weed out into the bong.
That's funny.
Just for equal time, play the Guinea Wop Dago. Play Patrice. Play Patrice.
I will tear you apart.
He was Patrice. Equal time. He's the Guinea Wop Dago. I want to have equal racism time. Here's some technology for you.
Hold on.
Yeah, Artie, why don't you try making the voice message longer? You Dago, Wop, Guinea, garlic breath, pizza slinging, spaghetti bending, victim of Perry Como, Luciano Pavarotti, solo me and non-singing motherfucker.
Non-singing?
All jokes aside, my name is Patrice.
All jokes aside?
A girl.
Wait.
And I would like to be put in charge of the Black Artie Lane fan club.
You got the job.
I think calling ourselves the Artie Blaine fans.
He ran out of steam.
Essentially, black fans of Artie Lane.
Out of steam.
So give that some thought.
Okay.
Let your people talk that through. The likes of Dan Filato and that jerk off that does a sound effect. Terrible radio voice. Love the podcast. I am one of, I believe, 8 black subscribers to the podcast. We're a small cohort, but powerful.
We have some black subscribers. I know the chicks so far. There's a few dudes. I'm trying to get to know them, but
what, the black guys?
I don't know
get
the black
them together.
dudes.
By the way, Patrice,
I'm going to get y'all together, the black.
Yeah, no, get them together because we want to have a little summit in here. We'll bring all the black listeners. I'll bring every black listener up here.
You got to bring a lot of sandwiches.
Absolutely.
A lot of Chub Rock.
As long as they can check guns and shit at the door.
Chub Rock's coming.
The Chub Rock Summit, like 1990. Chub Rock on the scene.
The Carnivore Summit.
If I go down about 40 more characters for the guy from New Jersey that calls in, there's a Tan Filato if you want it.
Oh, let's hear that. Let's hear
Tan
Filato. We got a food for carnivores.
Hey there, Art. It's me, Tan Filato, Dan's lover.
We know.
Calling to make sure Dan's doing okay. Just heard the breaking news of Ernie Banks dying, Mr. Cub. Dan's real sentimental guy, and news like this, it's pretty tragic, and I want to make sure my Dan's okay. And Dan, life's too short. Things like Mr. Cubby dying really, shows me that. And I wanted to apologize to you, Dan, for not being as faithful as I could have been. And rest in peace, Mr. Cub. Dan, I got a bowl bath.
Well, listen, let's talk about this, Dad. Ernie Banks, who was one of my favorite people in the whole world, especially in the baseball world, famous for saying, let's play 2. Just a great class act, great man. Never played one game in the postseason. As a Chicago man, as a Cub fan, I noticed on Twitter, Bill Murray named one of his kids after Ernie Banks.
Yes.
His middle name, Homer Banks. And Homer, I guess, maybe because of a home run. He had 512 home runs, which was the record for shortstops. I don't know if it still stands. What does that mean to you, Ernie Banks dying, Dan?
Without PEDs and steroids, he'd still be in the top 10 of home run hitters on horseshit teams for his entire career.
Absolutely. Wrist hitter like Hank Aaron, all wrists.
So he was an amazing guy, always up, always positive. There were times when I wasn't his best friend because I had to say
Why? What did you do?
He would call me to get people's phone numbers to go in his golf tournament, and I would not give up those phone numbers.
Well, you made a promise to famous people.
Yes. Yeah. So,
and let's face it. Some of the country clubs had rules back then, right?
But he was an amazing player, and always
it's not amazing enough to get to one of your asshole friends golfing.
Couldn't give him Madonna's phone number.
Yeah, Madonna would have fucked him. Absolutely. Ernie Banks, as a baseball fan, I love that guy. I really did. This guy, and you know, I'm a Yankee fan, but it would have been nice to see Mr. Cub get a ring at some point. It would have been nice.
It's like Mattingly for New York. Well,
Mattingly at the very end played in the postseason at least, and he had a good postseason. Mattingly in '95, the year before they got Tino Martinez, and went on what has now become a dynasty. The year before Jeter was the full-time shortstop. Mattingly had a great postseason playoffs against Seattle. People forget that. He was hitting home runs, doubling all over the fucking place.
Yeah, that's the greatest home run call. My favorite home run call is that first one.
Sterling?
It's actually Gary Thorne.
Oh, okay.
And he goes, this one by Mattingly, hang on to the roof.
Yeah,
because it was like 15 years
perfect
of people
thing to
waiting.
say. Yeah. Mattingly was
great.
another class act, but he got Ernie Banks never got to play in a postseason game. That is a real. Chicago responsible for another injustice. Walter Payton not scoring a touchdown in the fucking Super Bowl. Talk about that. They gave it to the fridge because that's the fucking what the press wanted. They had it at the 1 or the 2. To see Payton in the Super Bowl do his famous jump over the top. And I mean, weren't you pissed off that Walter Payton didn't fucking get it?
I was livid.
Super Bowl TD.
And to know that McMahon changed the call at the line.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. And he had missed
so
that.
Ditka wanted Peyton to get it, and McMahon changed it to the
call.
fridge?
Right. And then
really?
Ditka now says, I wish I had just said, let him score. I figured we'd score some more.
Well, that I blame that, of course, on the local zoo. The fridge escaped his winter enclosure. No, listen. The funniest part about the call is winter enclosure.
It was good.
Hi, Artie. This is Dave Wilcox at the Bronx Zoo. Recently, one of our male gorillas, Christopher Cotton, escaped from his winter enclosure here at the zoo. We have been informed that he's been seen and heard on your podcast.
Yeah, we're
actually interested in having Chris come back to the zoo.
That's nice.
So if you would contact me with your information,
I'll get right on
come over and bring some bananas, set up a trap, and bonk him on the head, bring him here back to the zoo.
I don't think you really
all the kids love that big old monkey.
Did he wait, stop that. Did he say big old monkey? Or big old.
Yeah.
Listen, this guy, by the way, he's got to have people in his life who knows it's him. Okay? He's probably making up David Wilcox. I hope he is. So that means, in these times where people think racism is gone and everyone's, that guy, clearly he has friends who he's laughing with who know it's him, who he doesn't have any problem being that insanely, hopefully it's just a joke, but he is really, that is some ballsy, crazy racist shit. Chris, your thoughts? Christopher Cotton.
I'm still laughing. I'm be honest with you, it's still fucking funny.
Well, we invite any racist stuff.
Yeah, we have
more Guinea Wapdago stuff. But and by the way, I don't have to think anymore. Patrice, you have the job of being in charge of all my black people. You have the job, Patrice. So if you want to call back, if you want to rebut, Patrice, give your rebuttal to Dave Wilcox. I'd love to have you both here to debate it.
That's funny.
Whether what's funny, what isn't funny, and Patrice, bring all 8 black fans, and let's try to double that number.
I got 2 women, black friends.
Are they hot? Are they cute? Are they Lola Falana?
I don't know. No, I don't know. Are they on Twitter?
Lola Falana was white. Lola Falana was white hot. She didn't have the back. She didn't have the booty. You know who Lola Falana is? Google.
For what?
Lola Falana was an actress singer from the 70s on a couple of Love Boat episodes. I jerked off to Lola fucking Falana. Black chick, but very white, thin, kind of narrow-assed. But
I like Elizabeth Shue. But
this is a black chick I'm talking about.
You skipped over 3 decades.
I know,
this is a black chick I'm talking about. But Lola Falana is.
And the thing is, Paul Williams probably fucked her in the 70s.
Right. And
it was attainable.
That turns me off. But, but Lola Falana was smoking. Kind of like the black Heather Locklear. Dan, your thoughts?
I think Johnny Carson, wasn't she rumored with, didn't Bushkin say the lawyer that we had on?
Everything.
Yeah.
Carson fucked everything. He probably got into that black
Bushkin fucked a lot too, man.
Yeah, he probably got into that black pussy, that Pandora's box of blackness. I love it.
You got all
thoughts.
Sounds good to me.
No, you know, Google Lola Falana.
I am. I'm gonna Google.
Oh, she is. We'll do it. She's fantastic. You know, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll come back. We'll wrap it up. I want to get the guys to get their plugs clean here, and we've had a blast. This has been a good one with Paul Marcy, and we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll wrap this motherfucker up and see if we can get that winter enclosure filled up again.
I don't want to be bonked in the heat.
And Patrice, by the way, if you want to come here and bonk my 8 black listeners in the head, get them here. You are officially the wrangler of my black fans, Patrice. We'll be back right after this to end this motherfucker. Welcome back to Artie Quitter. We're going to wrap this thing up. If we had to name each podcast, Winter Enclosure would be the name of it. Anyway, or Larry Wilcox, or Patrice, the new head of the black fans for the Artie Quitter black fans. You know, we were talking about hot chicks. Hot black chicks, Rosario Dawson came up. You know, I was talking about the Mad TV sketches that got turned down. Of course, Rush Limbaugh singing Rush songs, living in the limelight. Today is Tom Sawyer. He gets high on you. If the space invades, he gets by on you. Of course, Tori Amos and Andy. Another one.
Tori Amos and
Andy.
I
pitched Andre Dawson's Creek. And Andre Dawson's Creek really wrote itself. And they refused to do it. You know, and... Chris, your thoughts?
Lola.
Would you watch Andre Dawson's Creek?
I would watch it.
You know who Andre Dawson is?
No.
The Hawk?
Oh. You never heard of Andre?
I never heard of
Great is he a Hall of Famer? Hall of Fame baseball player for the Cubs and the Expos. Well, you know who he is.
Bad
right?
knees.
Paul, your thoughts?
The Hawk? The Hawk, wasn't it?
Andre Dawson's Creek?
The Hawk, yeah.
Yeah, well, right. Hawk Harrelson was the real Hawk, but... Would you watch a sketch called 100 Dawson?
Definitely.
But anyway, it's been a great podcast. Another great one. Paul Marcy, I want to thank you for coming in. Paul, once again, go nuts. What are your plugs?
Hey, thanks for having me, Artie. You got me through my Letterman bump and the blizzard of 2015.
You know what? I'm glad. I'm glad that I was able to help you out, man. And Gotham, hopefully, will have you back. So Paul, no bullshit, is a real funny, smart, great comic. And check him out whenever you can. And so what we got, the DC Improv?
Yeah, DC Improv, and then back to LA for some dates. You can check it out. paulhasawebsite.com.
Okay.
Because all the Morrissey fans took
and of course, Chris Cotton is, has worked with me a bunch of times, always kills, another great comic. I don't give him enough props, but you got Cotton. Well, give the official plugs for you.
Let me get his official plugs.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm going to shout out a couple people on Twitter because I like y'all. I like these Twitter
Just
people.
do it. Come on.
All right, this is for the black ambassador. I never shout y'all out. We got 2 women here. At Tina Weena D and at Selena A.
God, is he trolling?
Listen, I'm a fan. Look, I have fun
I know,
here.
you're a fan.
I'm a fan. I enjoy it. Then we got the white women.
Hi, Artie. This is Dave Wilcox at the Bronx Zoo. Recently, one of our
at Scary Hendrick, at BB Mimi, they the white women, and then you got at Chelsea, whatever.
I want to hear
like
the conversation when you promised this,
dude. I don't promise me, but I'm being nice. I'm a nice guy.
You don't promise it. I promise I'll get y'all on. I'll get y'all on.
Listen, bitches, I'll scream out. At Tan Filato and all that good shit. That's it. I like Tan Filato. I just like he just
don't make excuses for the plug.
That was me. Okay, now I'm done. At Cotton215, CenterCityComedy.com, Center City Comedy Podcast.
And where you got a gig coming up?
And you gonna make me say the LOL game?
No, it's up to you. I don't care.
I'll be at LOL Comedy Club tonight. So if you're in the city, come by, come check it out.
Nice. All right, and Joe Matarese, of course, couldn't make it again. The roads, blizzard conditions. By the way, I was cut off by 3 women over the age of 80 driving SUVs on my way to the diner. So Joe couldn't make it here tonight. But I'm going to say Fixing Joe. Joe's, of course, great on the show. He's a friend of the show, a real funny man, a good friend. Couldn't make it. Hopefully he'll be here tomorrow. We'll see. Might be a slight drizzle in the forecast.
Funny guy. I haven't seen him.
Joe's a great guy. We're busting chops. Joe's as funny as they come. I've known Joe, been friends with him for over 20 years probably now. And Fixing Joe is his podcast.
I saw him in the San Diego year.
Yeah, right. Joe had a San Diego year. And that's what a cute, smart, perfect potential wife will do. And that's what he has. He got lucky in that case, but it took a year in San Diego.
I forgot to tell you this shit too. You'll like this one. There's one person who created a Twitter called Joe Mommy Happy.
I saw that.
I love it.
It's not Joe. It's Jew Mommy Epic.
Either way, you got Joe.
You don't have to say it's not J-E-W. It's J-U.
I fucking laughed.
Jew Mommy Epic.
And he's hilarious. And John the Magic Guy, he was fucking cool as shit.
Yes.
He's a good magician.
Yes.
He's an old fan. And they it's weird. It's fun. All right, never mind.
Well, that was the weirdest plug ever. Andre Dawson's Creek. We may raise the money. We're going to go on. What's the name of that place that you raise money? That website where you can raise money for
GoFundMe or
no, the other one.
Kickstarter?
Yeah. We're going to do Kickstarter. Andre Dawson's Creek.
Is Chris going to play Andre Dawson?
Well, he doesn't even know who he is, so he can't do it properly.
I'll do my research. No,
you're way too heavy.
Black guy with bad knees.
You're way too heavy. Paul and
We'll shoot me from the legs down, and then we'll have somebody else with the legs up.
Well, you know he's a bad knees when he was young. How long was he a Cub, Dan? Because a lot of people know him as an Expo. He was a Cub first or a Cub second?
Second.
He was an Expo first.
Right. And remember, he begged the Cubs to give him no money so he could come.
He
to
wanted
the Cubs.
out of Montreal.
Yeah, he wanted out of Montreal.
He had that Jerry curl for a little while too.
He did absolutely.
And then he on a last place team. He's one of the few guys to ever win MVP on a last place team.
Yeah, really? Amazing hitter. Great. You know what? Here's a great trivia question. In 1977, and you'll know one now because we're bringing this up. In 1977, 3 guys won Rookie of the Year for Major League Baseball, football, and basketball. They all had the same initials. Baseball was Andre Dawson, AD. They all had the same initials. I need from you. Rookie of the Year in football, pro football, and we got Andre Dawson from Major League Baseball, and Rookie of the Year in basketball. Basketball and baseball.
I got the basketball.
What is it?
Adrian Dantley.
Nice.
And baseball is his proper name.
It's Andre Dawson.
But football, I mean.
Yeah, here's the trick part of the question.
I got it.
Chris, do you even have a guess here? 1977?
I don't know.
77, as famous as the guy gets. But there's a trick question here. Dan, you know the answer.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Tony Dorsett?
Is actually Anthony Dorsett.
Yeah.
His real name is Anthony Dorsett. All AD, you young kids. 1977. That's one of my favorite trivia questions.
You know what's
ever.
bad about that? Dorsett popped in my head. I was like, that's Tony.
Right. That's what I eventually got that answer, but it took me a while because I didn't think it. Anthony Dorsett in football, Andre Dawson in baseball, Adrian Dantley in basketball. That's a little nugget for you younger people. That's a great trivia question. If you know some pompous ass know-it-all fucking jerk-offs in sports, try to get him with that one. If they get you on it, you're fucked. And you're going to hear their arrogant ass for a long time. Anyway, for Chris Cotton, for Fixing Joe, for Paul Marcy, thank you so much. And hopefully you'll come back as soon as you can, buddy. And Chicago Dan Filato tomorrow. We'll have Flippin' here, and we'll have some more fun. This is Artie Quitter saying take care, brush your hair.